and blessings, my beautiful people. So I wanted to come and do a little reading, and I just realized the new moon is coming. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I just felt really like called to just do like a reading, a message. A couple days ago, I started to feel like a random anxious feeling inside. And I really don't pay attention too much to the news and politics and things like that because I really believe in knowing your lane and staying in your lane. And that's just not my lane anymore. It used to be my lane a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And once I lost my mother, I reevaluated life and saw that this was more my lane. But staying in your lane is something that's pushing forward a lot. If you are a person that is a placeholder, that is a oracle, that is a seer or a knower, be in that lane. But if you are a person that is a physical worker, not a light worker, but a physical worker, be in that lane and be paying attention and be ready. And whatever it is that you say that you are here for, make sure that you are doing what you are here for. Because in the coming weeks, we will see people being called to take their positions in that place. Many of us as light workers have taken our positions in our places, and we've opened up. We start to tell you things that people have questioned us for, that has challenged us, but we have stood our ground, and we've said what we need to say. And something is to be telling that even Shaka Zulu had his Sangoma by his side. Every leader always in olden times, not modern times, but olden times, most leaders had an astrologer or a Sangoma or a wise man or someone that advised them, someone that could see beyond this realm, advised them. And I feel that if you're a person who is a 3D worker, a physical worker, someone who has a place here, start to listen to what we're saying to you, because something is pushing us to say these things. And I will say, I kept feeling like state to state, place to place, things will pop up. And I just heard something else that happened a couple days ago in LA. And that's where I think we're starting to try to tell y'all. So y'all have to start to listen that things are about to change. And if you feel that you have been preparing yourself to defend the people in a way that you feel you are called to, then be ready to defend the people. As far as on another dimensional level, if you're a person in this reading, the thing about it is so wild, and everything that's pushing to me completely has to do with what is happening in the 3D right now. Like previous readings that have been going on for the past month, 2 months, everything has been about planetary positions, energetic changes, all that. This directly pertains to what is happening to the people. And if the people are not remaining aware of the changes that are occurring, then we might find ourselves in a negative position. Now, if you are a light worker, play your position. Play your position keeps popping up. Play your position, know your role. I feel like most people have been taken through a journey. And if you have not been buried in your ego, then you know your position and you know your role. If you are buried in your ego and have been trying to create your position or create your role, back down and please don't step up and do anything. Because unless you know, then you're not going to help anybody. You're not going to be of service to anyone. You should just stay at home on your computer, on Facebook, tweeting about it, and leave it there. If you are a person who has really understood your calling and have been answering that calling and have been working selflessly to answer that calling, that militia keeps popping up in my head. If that is something that you have set forth to do, please start to prepare. If God or the universe has put something in your heart to play a position of leadership, please do so. The first card, this just flew out, was the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups. Wow. It's so funny because the Four of Cups, whenever I think of it, it's always reminding me of a relationship that was beautiful at a point, but now it's going sour. Now there's not that much love left in it. There is some cheating going on. There is some dishonesty going on. I feel like that is really symbolic of the structure of our society that we find ourselves in, where we've already seen that unfolding earlier this year, earlier in 2020, where you see that the system or the policing or whatever is in place to protect you, you realize it's not protecting you. We saw that just recently. We saw that the system that was supposed to protect the Capitol did not protect it. It's the noting of a relationship that is no longer serving you anymore. If that relationship does not serve you, you need to move on and figure out a new way to get whatever it is you need as far as your love. And when I say love, it can be transferred into other things like your protection, your structure, your government. The stuff I'm seeing right now, I will be honest, it takes me through a lot because everything I'm seeing is not what I want to happen. Everything I'm seeing is a bunch of debauchery. It's debauchery. It's a lot of what we see on the surface is not what is really happening. You've got to question why police aren't doing things. You got to question why that's not happening. And sometimes it seems like it's not happening because they're letting it happen. It's a bunch of debauchery. This is a very different type of message or reading than I've been feeling and been doing. But as it's always said, to play your position, play your role. I'll play my position, I'll play my role, I'll deliver the message. Because everything that I'm seeing, I'm not liking. What I'm seeing is a lot of strife, unorganization, disorganization, a lot of revelations, revolt, dismay, disorganization. Disorganization is huge. Disorganization, and also what I feel like about disorganization is that people that were supposed to be, it reminds me of the KKK back in the day where you had people that worked in government positions, police positions, all that, and they're allowing the stuff to happen because they're part of it. And it's reminding me of that, you know? Wow, some of this makes me a little nervous even saying the post, but it's reality. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of what we are looking to, and we already seen this happening. That's why the country was protesting the way they were, because it was very apparent that the systems that were set up to protect and serve us are not doing that. And now we're seeing this, where you can see that the very fabric of the democracy is falling. Rome is falling. Is Rome falling? Yes, Rome is falling. And, you know, don't take this and be like, oh, it's the end, it's the end. But at this point, that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. It is a futile battle. Futility. A futile battle. I feel that it would be a futile battle if people were not prepared, if people were not cautious. There has to be strength in numbers. There has to be strength in organization. I think that because there's so much disorganization, things aren't what they seem. Again, Aquarius. Aquarius, that sign just jumped up. And the one thing I always say about Aquarius is that they can live double lives, that they shifty. You know, no offense to the Aquariuses, but Aquarius men, I always feel like I never can pinpoint who they are, what they are. Like, what are you, this person? Are you that person? You can wear many faces. And that's what I feel of our government and of our structure, that they're wearing many faces. And that we need to really be attentive of that. What can you do as a person? That I cannot tell you. But if you are, like I said again at the beginning, if you're a person that you have stepped up and answered your calling as a 3D worker, as a physical worker, this is your time. You know, we've been telling y'all stuff. If you've really been paying attention to the people that are the oracles, the prophets, the psychics, we've been telling y'all stuff, you know? And so many people want to always discard what we say and discredit what we say because we can't explain it. But like I said before, Shaka Zulu was one of the most powerful strategic military generals in history. And he had himself Goma by his side. Understand that. There is intelligence in taking advice from those who see beyond the veil. There is intelligence there. State to state, position to position. What will happen? Whew. This is like, it's taking me through so much because it's emotional. Because it's emotional, and I feel the emotions of the collective are being pulled, and you're being pulled again. And it's like a lot of people are like, dude, we just got done with all of the drama and emotions of 2020. Why are we going through this again? This is where, as people, you have to step out of a victim mentality. And you have to step into a more proactive, progressive mentality where you are aware and you accept things, not accept it and fold, but accept it so that you know how you need to moving forward. You know, one thing that I always say about getting over tragedy, trauma, things like that, is you have to accept that emotion, that sad emotion is going to be there because it's not a productive emotion to live in. You know, if we continuously talk about how mad we are about what's going on or how sad we are about what's going on, that's not progressive because you're not thinking, you're not forward thinking. You're still sitting here being sad and emotional. Okay, leave the sad, emotional, all that stuff in 2020. Now it's time to think and be progressive. All right? I'm going to pull a few more cards. Just because I don't want to go too long, and really, I feel like I said everything that needs to be said. I don't really feel much more. This keeps calling me. This keeps looking right at me like, no, pick one of these. Pick one of these. What is something to move forward with? As you do watch things unfold, God, I feel the emotion so much. Like, it is really harsh because there's a lot of anger and sadness and frustration involved. And I say, when you feel anger, sadness, frustration about something that you feel like you can't change it. Change that shit. How can you change it? Start to plan. And I'm telling you right now, you know, there's some brothers that have been starting some stuff, and I see the vision. I see their vision because there is one dude there that I see that he does have the gift of sight, and there was a vision. And I think that now, and I hope that it's not something that's costly, but start to align with people who have the vision and who are physically working. Okay, the people, like, I'm a light worker. So I stay in my position. I allow myself to receive messages. I do things like I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I quit eating meat. I let my vessel be clear so that what's coming to me is clear and I share. That's my role. But there are some people who they have been getting messages and they've been doing things and putting things in place. Find those people and back them up. Become involved in what they're doing, because what they're doing is what the divine is shooting to him or her to do. To help the people, because the people are going to be in a position that needs help. And this is something that is going to be going on for years. Like, you just got to get out your feelings. You got to get out your feelings. Getting out your feelings is huge. Getting out your feelings is huge. And like I said again, you know, ego is something that, you know, if you didn't let go of your ego, like December, if you didn't let go of your ego and you're stuck in that shit, like, you gonna have to do something. But if you are someone that's sitting in your ego, step back. If you don't know that you're sitting in your ego, self-search. And I shoot whatever energy to you that they may come to you in your dreams and awaken you to your ego so that you may tackle whatever inner child issue you have, whatever traumatic issue that you went through, that you can tackle those issues and heal so that you can let go of the ego and let go of the pain body so that you can live in your light self, be your higher self. I push that onto whoever is still living in their ego and not able to push away, because right now you don't want to live in your ego. There's a whole lot of other stuff that's happening right now. And being in your ego means you're not allowed to let go sometimes. You're not able to let go and move on and progress. And it can be very stagnant being the ego. And also what's happening is that they know how to manipulate very easily. You can be manipulated if you're someone that lives in the ego. Like Back to the Future, where you know if you call him chicken, he'll do whatever. He ruined his life over that. You can be manipulated if you live in your ego. So letting go of your ego is huge. Change is coming. Pay attention to details and stay one step ahead. Unlock your full potential. Boom. That literally fell out. And that is something that I hope that we understand, that change is coming. Pay attention to details and stay one step ahead to unlock your full potential. Courage to change. Have that courage to change. Have that courage to live outside the ego. Have the courage to allow whatever changes to happen and reposition yourself to where you need to be. If you are already a placeholder, you already are living your purpose, you've already answered the call, you've already let go of the ego, and you're answering the call for the collective. Continue to do that. Physical workers, 3D workers, step up and play your position. And light workers, continue to play your position. Okay? All right. That was definitely something. And I'm like, wow.